Hello and welcome everybody. I'm bringing you a special edition of Blade and Sorcery. This is the Star Wars or Outer Rim mod, which gives the whole game a nice Star Wars touch all across the board. I'll show you some of that, but this kind of looks like the Rancor pit, which is kind of fitting for today's stream here. But this is just a standard arena for Blade and Sorcery. So let me switch off the camera for you guys here. No. So, before I show you everything you can do, let me show you guys a little bit of the combat, and we're going to be fighting against Sith Lords here, so... I almost forgot one thing that might make this a little better. Oh, these battles will be very short-lived. Okay. In this mode, you cannot, like, just kind of tank hit. This is, like, the boss mode. So these guys are a lot beefier than my normal opponents. Even one hit can kill you, and I think it took maybe two. I'm gonna use my special saber for this one. And I'm usually obliged to using my feet pretty liberally, and with the Star Wars mod, not the smartest thing, because the enemies, basically these swords act as heavily imbued swords, so if you touch them, yeah, a lot of damage, you take a lot of damage. Normally that little amount of damage isn't a lot. Forgot something important here. I'm gonna pause this for a second. I do have an extra slot on me, I believe. No, you're not. Either way, I should really have a couple of, oops, not comm links. Also the wrong device. This is taking the place of the potion, which is a lot easier to use than the potion. Normally, you just click the trigger. There we go. I'm not sure why, but a lot of this Star Wars stuff doesn't want to work today, and I don't know if there's been some changes in the game that's caused that. Or not. Could make their health a little beefier too. I think I've done that before, and I've actually turned off dismemberment. It happens way too easily with lightsabers, because like I said, they act like heavily imbued weapons. If you have a weapon heavily imbued, it's really easy to dismember an opponent, and once they're dismembered, it doesn't matter how it happens, they will die. I'm gonna switch to like the smaller. Well, there's smaller but more opponents here. These guys are heavy hitting, chunkier opponents. Okay, so this is like a regular version of these guys. You'll see they'll go down a lot easier, and their strikes don't take as much damage, don't cause as much damage. Be considerably less. Almost took no damage off that. But getting stabbed with a lightsaber really should do a lot of damage, but you can't face as many opponents like that. And another problem, well, single stab obviously should kill with a lightsaber anyways, but it seems way too easy to do. And we can even go back to the boss. The reason I wasn't going for stabs is I was trying to make it last longer. Like you'd see in a Star Wars movie, but it's not a realistic way of sword fighting. Especially when these are opponents that aren't very intelligent. I mean, it literally only takes me doing that to kill them. It doesn't matter how beefy they are. And like I said, that's realistic to what a saber would do. But it's not how a lightsaber fight would go. Like I said, you can see how short they last. It's either them or me going down really quickly. So, like I said, like I promised, let me show you how this mod kind of works and what you can do with it. I'm trying to get the... Actually, you know what am I doing this? I could just change the camera. Okay, now you guys are looking through my eyes here. And here's the little book where you see like all the normal stuff that we normally see. At the very bottom we have a Star Wars setup here. You can face bounty hunters, Jedi, Sith, or a combination of those. And then these are some 2v1 setups which have been added. I don't think they were here like when this mod like officially or like originally came out. And there's more of the dual modes that just include one enemy. And then you have ones that are just endless. They don't stop. I believe the boss ones are like that too. They don't like have... Yeah, it says endless. You can see here the length. I don't know if you guys can see that well on the screen or not, but they are endless. Then we have all the weapons, which you'd see normally what's available in Blade and Sorcery here. So you have all your sabers, which include a ton of lightsabers. Just another mess. A lot of these sabers I've never even seen before. Oops. I haven't even seen this one yet. Oh, I guess it's held upside down, like by the person who uses it more than likely. I think, yeah, it is. And it's sort of like a staff, but shorter on the bottom. Interesting. That's just, in practice, this seems like it would probably end up killing you more than it would be helpful. Because on the bottom there, let's just see how the game wants me to pick it up. Yeah. You'd have to hold it this way, otherwise you would end up stabbing yourself repeatedly with it. I mean, like, they go totally for style points, but some of this stuff isn't exactly the most, like, good in practice here. You have blasters as well. You can pick from fair assortment of those. I think I have one right here. You can change the laser color by going down to the bottom here. and there's a little power cell thing. You can switch up the color of the laser. We also can change out the kyber crystals in our normally I'm not jumping when I'm trying to select things. So if I wanted to take this blade that I just had here and remove the crystal, I gotta grab this lightsaber tool that's included and the saber list. Well, not the saber list, the kyber list. And then you just take whatever crystal you want and place it into the saber. There is black versions of virtually every saber crystal imaginable here, and you even have the blue classic from the first Star Wars as well. You also have like unstable crystals, so just about any color has an unstable version. It's unstable green here. A different sound as well as a different look to it. Also the activator, not exactly sure how this is done on a Oculus headset, but I believe it's probably just the clicking in the analog stick that's associated with the controller, or maybe it's like one of the face buttons, I'm not sure. On the Index it's really nice, it's just the center touchpad, clicking in that, which lends itself nicely to how you'd expect it to work if you were actually using the saber. Yeah, and that's pretty much it, except for like some small assortment of like odds and ends. Like you have thermal detonators, which I've actually never used before, and I'm not even sure how to activate them because the touchpad doesn't work, the trigger doesn't work. Yeah, everything else is for the game. It might be enough to pick it up again. Again, like, activators are seemingly not working. Maybe you have to throw it. That's the only way. Oh, there we go. Now it's triggered. I guess they're always on time delay. Doesn't seem to want to go off. Now it will. Feel that. I'm not exactly sure. There's like two. It's like a two-tone trigger system or something. Okay, I see. I have to press both the activator. Oh, and I can deactivate it. That's interesting. On Index, you need to use the pinch gesture, I guess, to enable those. It's interesting. I have no idea what the comm link is supposed to do. The binoculars. I'm not like I said. Half of this doesn't seem to have any practical use. It's just some interesting things. That maybe this is for like entirely for demonstration purposes. Some of this stuff. There's different helmets too, which in the last version of this mod I could not like actually get to do anything. Okay, now I have the helmet on, but like, it doesn't. Again, no practical purpose there, and I don't think it acts as a shield or anything. I think they used to change your character models or something, but they don't anymore. So anyways, that's the Star Wars mod. What I'm going to do now is go back to the, re-enable this, and like, dismemberment here. I go back to the, home world here. Picking my equipment because like one of the things that this game really likes to do is make it so well, when you go back to home, if your equipment is changed, then it like permanently stays that way until when you reload the save. So a nice little interesting thing that if I can get this to go in first person mode just momentarily. that the sandbox mode has now is a Jedi and a Sith. You want to choose who you want your enemies to be, so I'm going to pick Sith. We're going to tone down everything here so that we can get in here. One thing I want to note about this mod is that it is incredibly performant. Like, it affects your performance pretty negatively. If there's not so many enemies on screen, you're generally fine if there's like one enemy on screen at a time, or even two, but when you start getting like 3 or more, especially when they have sabers. If they have something other than sabers, you're probably going to be fine. But if they all have sabers, you have like 4 or 5 Jedi on screen at a time, and you're fighting all of them, your frame rate's going to tank. And it has something to do with either, I don't know, it can't be collision detection. This game is pretty like physics heavy, which is fairly normal for it, but I think it has something to do with how they do the lightsabers in the game. Now, I usually go for kicks on enemies that have shields, and there's a reason. I mean, they're harder to dab when they have a shield. The thing is, though, none of them are using that. The reason I've got my full body on right now is mainly just because I'm streaming. He actually looks like he's carrying. No, he's carrying 2 sabers. Now, one thing I want to note about the TK spell, there is actually a mod you can get alongside this that has like real force push. Normally, you can't just fling enemies like that with TK. Let's see. Sometimes you can. I'm not sure exactly. I guess it depends on their stance, so how they're standing or where you hit them from, but the mod for TK will enable like force push to be pretty much exactly like right there. It did not work as a force push. I honestly recommend staying at default. It like normally should be difficult to force push any force user if you're just fighting Jedi and Sith. Oh. Remember I said any dismemberment kills, so he can normally fight without one hand, but he just goes right to death. Now let me show you why you don't want to use a blaster against a force, well, not necessarily force wielding, but any lightsaber wielding opponent. Okay, I'm gonna see where I came from here, because can't exit through there. I have a really... Oh, yeah, here's why you don't want to do that. No matter where you hit him, once you hit him in the legs, it's gonna pretty much be attracted to a saber. So it used to be that like it was almost impossible to block blasters. Then they made it incredibly, like, way too easy. Like, it just pretty much auto blocks. I think it should be a little harder, and not only that, but it also should be there should be ability to reflect them. It doesn't seem to be. I'm sure what color my saber is coming across on video, but it's supposed to be a lime green. This one anyways. The other two are like just a standard green. And then there's two dark saber greens on the LightSaber hilt thing. Okay, now here's normally where it becomes the hardest on any Blade and Sorcery dungeon. Let's see how it becomes. Yeah, and also my frame rate should tank here. We have 3 lightsaber users on screen, and like, even with the normal, even with the normal game, it's really hairy here. You guys can probably see that, like, the more sabers that I get on screen, the more the, it's exactly why, like, it's scripted that when you kill any lightsaber user, that they drop their sabers. And the same thing I said was true for the blasters is also true for the lightsabers, and that's just actually a game mechanic. It's just probably like exaggerated because if you have a sword and someone uses a spell on you, you can block it with the sword, or even a shield, anything really. And one thing you guys can't see is my hands, because I'm using my own avatar here, are burnt, like, badly. Which is likely due to me touching the imbued weapons. Because they're technically they're just basically acting as imbued swords. Just with an infinite imbue time, and I think probably like way higher properties than a normal imbued blade. They're basically just plasma metal, which is why they don't just like they don't just like cut through absolutely everything, because nothing in Blade and Sorcery can do that. You do have to work within the confines of the game in order to make these mods. Oh no, this is something I hate. Not entirely a mod thing. It happens to regular weapons too. Normally there's no one else here once you pass this part. I really dare not like take any more damage. Yeah, I swear the length is much longer than I expected it to be. I thought I limited it to just one of those chambers, but I guess potentially not. And again, I forgot this is the games version, or the mod version, it's not the game version, so probably to like make it a little more difficult, you added a couple extra characters. Oh shit, that could kill me. Well guys, thanks for watching this little special edition of Blade and Sorcery. If you want to see more like this, subscribe. Hopefully you should be streaming some other games soon as well. Not like this, where, you know, I have my avatar in-game, but it'll be an overlay and the, what's right, lower left-hand corner, so for you guys, I think that's over here. It's always reversed, so, actually, yeah, no, it's gonna be over here. So it is my lower left. Every time I'm doing this, normally when I'm doing this, it's the opposite corner. Anyways, lower left-hand corner of the frame. Then the Bhaptics vest is on the other side. If I'm using it for that game, like a majority of like really popular games do support it. So, if not through like a native means, there's some kind of mod that will let it work in the game. This is a mod that makes Blade and Sorcery work, and it works with every single like part of the Bhaptics like setup. There's more than just a vest. There's like something for your face, and then there's arm components and things that go over your hands, your feet, and then now there's gloves as well. The gloves are brand new, so those are going to take some time before they're supported, and chances are going to be supported in mostly games that are meant for quest hand tracking, because like it doesn't make sense to like duplicate controller haptics as we already have those. So anyways guys, catch you in the next one.